All right. Welcome to RCAM. I'm your host, Ryan, and thank you for tuning in today. So, hopefully, the audio is working great. And we will be getting into discussing what men, what real masculinity looks like, because we had a recent gala that gave some abysmal examples of masculinity. So we'll talk about that. We'll also be talking about um, uh, uh, the pro-Palestinian protesters raising their flag in our country and what that means, and more. Stay tuned. All right, cool. So hopefully, it looks like everything is copacetic. I don't think we are having any issues, so that is good news. I'm just gonna say hi real quick, see if the chat's working, and it is. So that's good news. All right, so we are just going to kind of get into this. So first, I would like to say that I am somebody that feels like I was born in the wrong time period. I'm somebody that wishes I was born in like the 1950s, 1920s, at least for the aesthetics of those time periods. Now there's probably things that I probably would not would uh would not like to have gone without, like air conditioning and stuff like that. Um but I do appreciate the way men used to dress, which is in stark contrast to how we dress today, or at least some men dress today, not all, but some. And I want to get into the recent Met Gala. Other than what I've seen going on Twitter, I didn't even know it was happening until it was happening. So that tells you kind of the relevance of some of these events. They're not nearly as relevant as they used to be. But there were some images making their rounds on Twitter, and I think we need to discuss. So let's bring up this first story. Let's get into it. Bingo, right here. All right, hold on. Let's scroll. We'll stop here. There's so many of these. So there's this first individual named Gustav Magnar Witzo. I don't know who he is, but it looks like a homo. Not gonna lie. It just effeminate. Is like a frilly dress. He's wearing, I don't know what the stockings. Like what kind of man wears stockings? A very gay one. So I don't know his sexuality, but I'm gonna presume not straight. that's just my assumption, and it gets worse. You have this guy. That's not that bad. I'm not crazy about that type of fabric, but certainly better than others. And then you have this Cole Escola. I don't. I, what? What is this? Why? Why? Why would a man willingly walk out of their house looking like this? I don't get it. I do not understand. This is a little derpy, a little weird. Not gonna lie, just strange apparel. Uh, Also, I can't tell if those are really baggy pants or that's a dress, but because it's ambiguous, I'm going to say not cool, not good. And then we have this. What is this? What's happening here? You got this man dressed in, a flower dress. I don't. Why? Why are men dressing like that? Why are they doing this? You have Donald Glover. He actually is dressed pretty well. You got this guy, Jamie Dornan, Dan Levy, and again with the flowers. At least it's a suit though, so it's better than the dress. I think the dress too, is a humiliation ritual that they make men participate in. They have them do this humiliation ritual, and it just looks really awful, really awkward, um, and just frankly ridiculous. You have these K-pop stars, where they all, I mean, generally K-pop stars just look effeminate to begin with. So at least they're suited up, though. You know, that's better than nothing. Then you have Wisdom K. I don't even know who this is, but pretty lame, pretty unimpressive. And I think that's it for now. But you see these photos, and you think like, what has happened to modern men? Now, granted, these are men, these are Hollywood celebrities, so your average person is not dressing this weird. You'd hope, you know, but you still walk out into the wild and encounter trans men who are dressed wildly inappropriate, and you have men not even if they're not necessarily dressed like this. You have men who are dressed like they do not care about themselves. They go out and they basically look like they're homeless. They're wearing pajamas. They're wearing pants hanging off their ass. Like they're just not dressed in a way that communicates that they are serious men. You have men, I had a buddy recently sharing with me. He was around somebody that had like this obnoxious anime shirt that was basically pornographic, and you have men going out willingly wearing some of this stuff, and it's wild to me. It's wild that men would actually dress like this. And I think we need a higher caliber of men. Men that are willing to raise a standard not just in their moral ethic, but also the way that they dress. And I think this is something that is kind of indicative of where culture is at, where people stop caring about how they dress. And then we also have that coupled with the feminization of men. So, you saw a lot of these men wearing dresses, and I think this is intentionally designed to confuse people about their God given identity and to pervert the minds of all those who are watching or seeing these images floating around on the internet. It's to blur the lines of gender, and it frankly, I find it disgusting and off-putting. And this is something that the Bible actually commands people not to do. It commands people not to cross-dress. And this is exactly what these men are doing. And by doing so, they are corrupting God's creation. Not only is it an affront that they are actually doing this, but it's not something that's contained to them alone. It's something that is used to influence the people who see them. And so these Hollywood celebrities are trying to set fashion trends. They're trying to make stuff like this trendy and cool and edgy. Oh, look at how cool we are. We're men who wear dress and paint our nails and dress like homosexuals. Not cool at all. Not cool at all. But unfortunately, there will be some kids that latch onto this and think this is what they need to do to I guess be recognized and have any ounce of influence. And I think it's abysmal. I really do. And I think back to a time where men used to be men, that there was no ambiguity when you were looking at a man. You could tell he was who he was. He wasn't effeminate. He carried himself with respect and dignity. He dressed in a way that emulated his masculinity. And there was just a different caliber of men. They weren't effeminate. These were working class men who worked with their hands and helped build civilization as we know it. And these people are quite the opposite. They are not building civilization, they are tearing it down. I had a professor in college. He explained to me the difference between two groups of people. He said there are two groups of people, and there are Dionysians, which are destroyers, and Apollonians, which are builders. And these individuals would be referred to as Dionysians because they are destroying society by corrupting the minds of the people who watch them. They are. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing when they cross dress. It's not innocent. It's not cute. It's not even funny. It's disturbing and disgusting. So we have a stark contrast here. And when I get into this story, go all the way back. Holy smokes. I don't know how I got all the way down there. But we have decades of fashion, and let's get into this. All right, so we have this guy, suited up dad. This guy, well dressed. This guy looking dapper, got a top hat. I mean, think of how great America was when we had top hats. Better times, for sure. And the fashion, and this is the 1920s, but look at this photo, all right? So everybody in this photo, they're all well dressed. Where does it say this is from? This is 1925. It was a direct reflection upon the times. I don't know where this is actually from, but everybody was dressed like they cared about themselves, like they cared about their appearance. And this is something that's not common anymore. People don't care about the way they dress. I only see suits in once in a while in special occasions at work. That's it. And it's once in a while. I don't see men wearing suits anymore. Most people, do not care about their appearance. And I think it's something that we should care about, honestly. I think we should care about the way that we dress, the way that we conduct ourselves. And I think these men, in this photo were dressed well, were dressed like they care, were dressed with self-respect, and they weren't walking around in their pajamas or dresses. They were real men who worked real jobs and did hard work. And I think that is really impressive. I do. And I do wish that we would return to this because objectively, they dressed better. Man in a suit, got his wife holding his stuff, his son taking his... That is what... It was just better times. People cared. Look at this guy. So this is actor Ford Sterling wearing a three-piece suit, a popular fixture in the 1920s men's magazine. He looks like he's ready to handle business. He looks serious. He looks like a man that you don't mess with. And unfortunately, that's a stark contrast to this. Like, this man you take seriously if you saw him. This man you would laugh at and wonder, like, when he's going to go to the circus. Like, there's just a huge difference and a huge contrast in the way these men present themselves. Now, with that being said, I do want to get into another topic that's kind of on this trend of the feminization of men and the overall degradation of culture. So when I was growing up, pop punk used to be anti-establishment. They would have songs basically about rebellion and sticking it to the system and not complying, and it was a true spirit of rebellion. Now you contrast this with this video that I'm about to show you. I'm going to read you the tweet and then I'll show you the video. This is what punk is about. Now, let me pull this up. A year ago, we wrote a song and named it after the governor in Tennessee who's trying to pass laws banning drag shows. And we'll talk a little bit more about drag shows later. And affecting gender-affirming care. We called out several governors by name in the song to spread awareness. So Not off to a good start here. So this individual was protesting drag shows. They wrote a song to after a governor because they were trying to pass laws that banned drag shows. That's a good thing. Why would anybody be against that? What are the merits of cross-dressing in front of children? What are they? I would really like to know because I don't see them. I see it as nothing but a perversion of the young mind. But let's hear the content of the song. I'm going in with a lot of enthusiasm. This guy is in the dress, so clearly he is anti-establishment. Let's play this. Oh, where's the audio? 1 second. I don't know why that audio wasn't playing. Did you guys hear it? Because I did not hear it. Oh. All right. I think we should be good now. All right. One, two. All right, here we go. Put a bullet in a kid's head, think they got a sickness and they're not dressed up straight. But what happens in the closet doesn't matter if you profit from the flag of the USA. You're too fucking old, you do as you're told, you base your life on... Now there is one legitimate criticism. Our politicians are just too old. We have really old politicians in our country. So he's right about that. But let's go. Filling up the ditches. Tell me, can I still be saved? He can be saved if he repents. But who is burning witches? This is brought up frequently to kind of own the Christians. Like the Salem witch trials. When is the last time a witch was being burned alive? When? That hasn't happened in a very long time. So I don't know what he's talking about. So let's just address this. So put a bullet in a kid's head. Last I checked, actually, in Tennessee, wasn't it I don't know, a transgender shooting up schools in Tennessee? I'm pretty sure that was the case. And I'm pretty sure we still haven't seen the manifesto, but that's exactly what was happening. And just real quick before I get into the rest of this, his whole stick is being anti-establishment. This is what punk is about. Punk is supposed to be anti-establishment, but yet everything that he says here is pro-establishment. When you have the White House tripping over themselves to affirm the LGBTQ+, you're not anti-establishment. When you have every corporation in America donning the rainbow flag, you're not anti-establishment when you support the very same things that they support. When you have Met Galas where people are cross-dressing, I'm sorry, you're in agreement with the establishment. You are. You may not like it, but that's the truth. It's anti-establishment now to oppose these things. It's anti-establishment now to be a straight white male. That's anti-establishment. It's anti-establishment to believe in Jesus. 1 second. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, everything that they claim to be anti-establishment is not anti-establishment. It's all the establishment. They support all the talking points of the establishment. They think you got a sickness if they're not dressed up straight. Sickness is one way of it's like a disease that spreads. It's a woke mind virus that is spreading to everybody, and we've seen like transgenderism spread to other people, other girls, and it's been likened to like what's it called? I'm trying to think of the word. Anyway, it spreads in social contagion. Yeah, that's happening. Abigail Schreier wrote about that. What's the other? But what happens in the closet? Blah, blah, blah. Does it matter if you profit from the flag of the USA? I don't really see anyone profiting off the flag. In fact, I see the opposite right now. People are stomping on it and burning it and desecrating it, and we'll get into that a little bit later in this video. You do as you're told? No, we don't. We don't. We aren't the ones doing as we're told. And that's been a problem. We weren't the ones getting the vaccine. We weren't the ones complying with all the mandates. We weren't the ones masking ourselves for months on end. We weren't the ones going along with every single talking point the system did. That's not us. We were the do not comply. That's our camp. So who is really anti-establishment? The person that got their third booster, who has a rainbow flag bumper sticker and supports every single corporation in America that's donning the LGBT flags for Pride festivals? Who's really anti-establishment? Because it certainly is not us. We are anti-establishment. And then they say you base your life off of an ancient scroll. Yes, I do. The Torah, the Word of God. And it is more relevant now than it's ever been. And if we are going to change culture and change the way things are, we need to remember God's law and remember God's ways, lest we start pretending to be oppressed and singing fake punk rock videos in a dress. Yeah. No shame in that. I do follow an ancient scroll. It has way more wisdom than this man ever will. And, the witch's burning thing, I talked about that. Filling up ditches, I don't know what that's about. And then telling them I can still be saved. Well, thankfully for that ancient scroll, the Bible, you can still be saved if you repent and turn away from your degeneracy. God will forgive you. He will give you everlasting life. But you need only repent. You need only believe. So I highly, highly recommend doing that. 10 out of 10 recommend because it's good. So yeah, that's my 2 cents, and I think that's what should happen. All right, so let's get into this next story, more on masculinity, on this vein. So we saw somebody that was not very masculine at all, dressed like was gender ambiguous, pretty homosexual, and now we have this guy who makes some pretty good points.
Generally, this is the attitude when it comes to guys who earn less than 100k, and it's to do with social media, and it's to do with the male influencers as well, who promote having to have $100 million just to get by, and it's just not the reality of things. Most men are out there working extremely hard, contributing to society and building things. I'm very lucky in the sense that I actually get to have a YouTube channel where I can earn a lot of money.
Okay,
if my
well,
YouTube channel,
then what do you do?
If my YouTube channel goes away tomorrow like that, people will watch some other shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter. But these guys, if they stop building the structure tomorrow, all of a sudden we've got half-built structures everywhere. All of a sudden you can't flush your toilet. All of a sudden you can't have electricity. And all of a sudden we can't have protection from the police. These are the people who literally build the world around you. And it's just like, I absolutely detest that notion of people laughing at people who work with their hands. Generally,
I have so much respect for men that create things with their hands. I really do. I'm doing more like computer work nowadays, but there was a long time where I did, long physical labor, and people don't really appreciate that type of work. And it's something that should be esteemed. Making content online. He's right. If we were to die tomorrow, all the influencers, nothing would really change. Society would still function. They're easily replaceable. But the people that are building society, we're very dependent on them, and we should not take them for granted. These are real masculine men that are building civilization. They keep civilization going. The reason we have lights, the reason we have a roof over our head, the reason we have plumbing and air conditioning and all this is because working class men have struggled and toiled to make this a reality for us, and we shouldn't discount them. And it's a beautiful thing that I think a lot of people take for granted, and we shouldn't. Or we absolutely shouldn't. Speaking of people that take their jobs for granted, I saw this video and I just thought, like, this guy gives streamers a bad name. Like, I don't ever want to become this.
You're all ATMs to me. Basically, I just care about the money. I don't give a fuck about you guys. Like, y'all don't have $5. Y'all don't have $5 in order to sub to me. Y'all act like I enjoy fucking talking to you guys. Like, I literally expect every single day.
I have it. I wouldn't give this guy my $5 if somebody paid me to. Hey, I see Toxin Slayer. What's going on, man? How are you doing? Yeah, I wouldn't give this guy money if my life depended on it.
Day for y'all to gift me one sub, like just one time and stuff like that. Like just one sub, 2 subs, 3 subs. That's why I have a daily sub goal of 5. If we can't reach 5 subs every day, then what the fuck kind of point of a community are y'all? Like, what kind of a community are y'all if y'all can't even reach 5 gifted subs on the daily? Like, I don't give a fuck about you guys. I just stream because I want the money and that's all I care about. I don't care about nothing else. Yeah, and I stream because I don't got nothing else to do. I don't got a real job, so I don't really care about you guys. Just saying.
Part of me thinks this is a bit. Part of me does. I'd be curious to see this whole stream because it sounds like a bit. And Toxic Slayer, you send it my way, man. I'll give it a listen. I'll probably do it after stream, but I'll definitely give it a listen, man. So yeah, send it my way and I'll listen. So, but there are people that maybe they don't say it this explicitly, that is how they see their job as a streamer. They see their job as just a way solely to generate income. They don't care about their fans. They don't care about the people watching them. They only want to take. They don't want to do anything that's going to benefit their fans unless it benefits them. And I detest it. I really do. I detest that mentality where you're trying to bleed your subscribers, and just try to get every single dime out of them and not do anything to give back to them. All right. I think there's 2 more videos we're going to play, and then we're going to be done. And it's this video that really irked me. All right. So this video was shared on Twitter. These people, man, like the audacity. You have to burn the American flag and raise your flag in our country is absolute insanity to me. And we should have zero tolerance for it. These people, I don't even care if they're American citizens, deport them. Send them to Palestine. If they care so much, if they are so passionate about it, go there. Do not come into our country, desecrate our flag, desecrate our memorials, and fly your flag from your foreign nation in our country. It's nonsense. And the thing is, imagine for 1 second that we did this in a foreign country. How do you think that it would go for us? I imagine probably not particularly well. If we were flying our flag in another nation and burning their flag, I'm quite confident there would be severe consequences to it. And that's what we need to start doing. People that are engaging in flag burning, destroying our monuments, should suffer severe consequences. At the very least, we can get them on vandalism, and we could send them to prison for it for a long time. Be very harsh, and it will send a message that you don't get to do this stuff in our country. You know, it's one thing to protest. I respect peaceful protests. I respect, protesting. It's another thing entirely to vandalize our monuments and burn our flag and raise a foreign flag. That seems treasonous to me. I don't know. So yeah, I have little respect to this. Speaking of protests, so we have this one, drag show for Palestine, hosted by Daddy Satan. Yeah, that's not at all ironic. But that's what this is. It's satanic in nature. Quite demonic, honestly. And I have speaking of weak men, strong men should not allow this type of stuff to happen. We just shouldn't. But if they are so passionate about doing drag, I actually think I approve. I think they should, but they should take it a step further. And they should take this show from Phoenix, Arizona, and they should actually go to Palestine. You know, maybe we could start a GoFundMe for them so that they could actually bring their culture and show their solidarity with the Palestinians there. I'm sure they'll be greeted with open arms. I'm sure the Palestinians will approve of a drag show for Palestine. I'm sure they'll be deeply moved by it, and they'll return safely home. So I think they should do that. I think that would be great. I think they should go to Palestine, perform their drag show, and if they still have their heads, great. We'll see though. But I do think that's what they should do if they feel so passionately about this. And I want to conclude this stream by sharing this video because it's one of those videos that you see that it reminds you of the fierceness of Christianity. And I think a lot of people need to be reminded of what Christianity has accomplished when men are not afraid, when men are willing to be bold for their faith. So let's play this clip and we'll talk about it briefly and then we'll wrap things up.
My God. My Christianity is not the cowardly, wimpish Christianity that you want to make it. My Christianity is the Christianity that defeated Islamic Jihad 3 times. My Christianity is the Christianity that conquered the Roman Empire. My Christianity is the kind of Christianity that defeated the pagan Vikings and the northern pagan tribes. My Christianity is the kind of Christianity that defeated the Ottoman Empire, that defeated the Arab invasion of the 7th century, that defeated the Arab invasion in Andalusia, in Spain. Do you see?
You're
He sees it. Oh no, this is where you're wrong, because the Ethiopian Christians who follow my kind of Christianity defeated the Muslim invasion from Somalia and Egypt. My Christianity is the one followed by the Armenians and the Georgians who defeated the Persians or Austrians and the Muslims. My Christianity is not for wimps. You're complaining about it because you are.
Oh man, I didn't pull the video up. Well, hopefully you guys heard the audio because it was good. But if you didn't see this video, great. It's just great stuff. Honestly, it's motivating and it's something that should just remind you that Christianity is not a faith for the weak. It's a faith that it requires courage, not cowardice. A lot of people are going to be surprised when Jesus comes back and he's judging the world, and he's judging people specifically for being cowards. Cowards will not inherit the kingdom of God. Only men and women that are bold in their faith, that take the gospel as it is, will inherit the kingdom of God. And right now, we are being assaulted on basically every front. Obviously he's in another country, but in our country, we have the LGBT mafia moving against us. We have Islam gaining ground. We have atheists coming against us. We have the government coming against us. We have the whole world coming against us. And right now, we need to stand up for what we believe in. We need not shrink back. We need to gain ground, hold the line, stand up for what we believe in. Do not be afraid. Do not apologize for a second for believing something that you know in your heart of hearts is true. Don't apologize. Hold your ground. Stand firm in what you believe. Hold fast to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Speak the truth no matter the cost. Speak the truth even if it's unpopular, because it needs to be heard, because every day the culture is told a lot of lies and they desperately need the truth. They desperately need to hear the gospel. They desperately need Christians to raise a standard for their faith, for masculinity, for family, for morals. We need Christians who are willing to raise a standard, God's standard. And if we don't, well, it doesn't end well for us. So we need to do everything that we can, because we're not just going to be facing the consequences of this. Our children's children will, if we don't start to turn things around. All right, that is going to do it for me today, guys. I appreciate you. Toxin Slayer, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but I'll check that out. And I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed one, and I will see you tomorrow.